beautiful viewers, you wonderful people of YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to your weekly installment of the 40k show. Thank you so much for joining us on this fine evening, you amazing, beautiful people. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit all those magical YouTube buttons for us. So smash that like if you enjoy the content, hit subscribe if you're not already. YouTube's still showing me like 30-40% of people that watch the channel specifically on demand aren't subscribers. We'd really appreciate it if you smash that sub button for us, because subs just aren't growing. However, other things are. Thank you so much for all the gifted memberships over the last few weeks. We had a peak. We're now dropping back off that peak like a stone off of a pier. But it is what it is, right? It's fine. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for supporting us. Oh, I've got a new option. I can go top chat, live chat, and now I can go fan funding, super chat, super stickers, channel memberships, gifting. That's impressive. I didn't know that. Talking of which, thank you so much, John Brickett, for upgrading his membership to Haskell tier. You are a hero. You're a legend. Thank you so much. And you'll notice tonight, nobody talked about timings, and so we were on time. Also, I don't have Joe here, right? So that's part of the reason why. But thank you, you wonderful people, for turning up this fine evening. Talk a little bit more about 10th edition. We've now got 2 public games under our belt here on the YouTubes. We'll talk a little bit about some of those 10th edition rules and some of the things that I've discovered, etc. In the meantime, if you guys want to support us here on the channel, and a lot of you do it, and you're amazing, and it keeps us in work and in food and in a house, etc. So you're all amazing. Thank you so much. You can do it a number of ways. You can super chat, you can become a member, or you can gift memberships. If you want to become a member, click that little join button, have a look at all the tiers. There's loads of extra benefits. The only one we don't list, because YouTube doesn't ask, is that if you are a Jarl tier or above, you get it into a monthly giveaway. Should you be lucky, you will then win a combat patrol box of your choice. But otherwise, you can also just make sure you turn on gifted memberships and you can accept gifts, which seems to be working again. Finally seems to be working again. So it didn't work for like the end of last week, and I panicked. And I think it's because we hit basically our record number of members. Like I said, dropped off a cliff again by a lot. But it's because it's all gifted. YouTube shows me that like 25% of you are genuine members, and the other 75% of you are all gifted memberships. But hey, I'll take either. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Big shout out Chris Pantelli, Nordos44 and James Snellgrove, who all have gifted memberships, meaning I have to update my tracker already, and we've just got started. But you guys are amazing, so thank you so much. I can go 6-2. Beautiful. Okay, right. So, how are we on hump day? How are we all on this middle day of the week? How are you all doing? Thank you also, by the way, for almost smashing 100 likes in the first 3 minutes. You people are amazing. We love you. So like I said, right, 10th edition. Joe's not a National Treasure, Brazil. No, he is a National Treasure. He's not with us. He'll be with us tomorrow. He has to look after his little one on a Wednesday. So there you go. Paul Fisher says, Jarl on nothing. Well, Carl comes back in with Thanor Lane. Absolutely, mate. And Dazran, welcome to the channel as a skull tier. You're a hero. You're a hero. If you want a super chat, by the way, anything below $10, right? Anything below $10, I will get to it. I promise you, and I will read it out. Anything over $10, and Amy will interrupt me and read it out to me. Okay, so if you've got specific comments or questions that you want to make sure everyone hears what you have to say, it's $10 or more, right? And it's kind of working. We did this as a trial because I was getting interrupted too much, and it's actually kind of working. So at the moment, I feel like we're going to keep it in place, but I'm conscious to know what you guys think. Okay. This morning, today, I haven't got it, I've left it in the studio, but today I did a little bit more reading of the 10th edition rulebook again, okay, in conjunction with the data cards that we've got. I'm going to say something now, which is going to sound hyper negative, but it's not. So what I'm also going to do is I'm going to add myself a caveat. By the way, 5 minutes, 144 likes already. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. Really supports and helps the algorithm. Anyway, I'm going to add a caveat in now. I'm going to go positive first, okay? I'm going to go positive first. Right. I currently am loving 10th edition 40k. I really like it. I'm a big fan of it. I think it's much nicer. I think it's much more fun. I think it's going to be much quicker once we've all got our heads around it. I think it's going to be more settled. Me personally, I'm loving 10th edition 40k. There's my positive. Here's my negative. You can tell that this edition didn't have playtesters, because I'm going to be honest with you, this rule set is currently a bit of a hot mess. Not necessarily in the game is terrible, it's an awful balance, it's blah, 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 but it is a bit of a hot mess. And there's a number of interactions that, should we have still been playtesting, we would have found these problems before the game went to print. However, they didn't do any real playtesting with it, and so these issues clearly haven't been found. And there's a couple of them that have come up a couple of times on stream already. So when you do get your hands on 10th edition 40k, I am expecting, genuinely, and I'm a little bit sad that I say this, but I am kind of expecting for there to be an early-ish kind of errata or FAQ thing on how the game works, okay? Because there's a couple of strange interactions, right? Paul, thank you so much for upgrading to Skull. You are a hero. Thank you, you legend. Some behind the scenes. I'll be doing a lot of behind the scenes posts when I'm in Titans if I remember to. So make sure you remind me, right? But I should be doing more behind the scenes stuff in Titans. We're limited now as what we can do behind the scenes. Why? Simple because NDAs, right? Anyway. Oh my God, Munch got gifted a membership. Everyone look, Munch got a membership straight away. Sandy got him. Wow. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. That is the biggest news of the night. Munch has got a membership. Fuck. That ruins my membership gifting for the night, Munch. You should have turned off the gifted memberships, you lunatic. That ruins my gifted membership thing straight away. How dare you? How dare you, sir? Anyway. Thank you so much, Sandy, for gifting 5. You're a hero, right? What a legend. Chat's more excited about Munch than 10th. There you go. Proof. We're a community channel. Who cares about rules? We care about Munch. Job's a good one. Fucking hell, Munch. What you should have done is left it turned off, right? So there's more gifting and just turned it on at the end. You fucked me now, Munch, right? Someone else, exclamation mark, Munch me. Who's the next person who can...
I missed your face while I was in holidaying land, so have some money, pretty boy. Now shuggle your bubble.
I'm Holy. Thank you so much for the 10. You're a legend. I appreciate you. See, she interrupts me for $10 or more. I'm just saying. Streaming has now been completed. Time to retire.
Day 1 patch incoming.
Yeah, I think there might be, Steve. Thank you for the 10, by the way. I think there might be. This is what I'm talking about. So I've gone back into the rules today and I've looked and I've looked and I've looked and I've searched and I've read, etc. I know you never had it turned off, Munch. It's a joke. And I've looked and I've looked and I've looked and I've gone back and forth. We're going to talk about some of these interactions. One of which we discussed at length last night. And after doing a lot of reading, actually, I'm very comfortable that what we did last night was correct. And what I'm talking about is how you wound attached units even once the bodyguard dies. So to clarify, Joe's Neuro Tyrant sits in a unit of Neuro Gaunts. The rules specifically state that when you have an attached unit such as a Neuro Tyrant sat in Neuro Gaunts, you wound when an attacking unit is making its attacks until that unit has finished making attacks. It rolls against the bodyguard's toughness. Bodyguard's toughness of the Gaunts is toughness 3. The Tyrant's toughness is toughness 8. We had a situation therefore last night when Brom's Dreadnought started attacking Joe's unit that had 1 Neuro Gaunt left. The Dreadnought has to make all of its attacks against the Bodyguard's toughness of 3, meaning Brom was able to kill the Neuro Gaunt with Storm Bolters, fire his last cannons and crack missiles into the Neuro Tyrant, and subsequently wound it on 2s instead of 3s, simply because of that rule. It's a bit janky. Now, having read through the rules as written, and I spoke to ADR Wargaming, who we were discussing it with on stream last night, he completely agrees. Rules as written, we are correct, but it feels like it's a bit janky. However, the only way to solve that is by slow rolling, and I don't feel like they would be actively encouraging multiple instances of slow rolling because that slows the game down, and that kind of goes against their design ethos, it seems, for this edition of 40k anyway. So that's a bit of a janky interaction, but there is an example. It could, of course, be flipped the other way. There are possibly circumstances where characters can join tougher units and they gain increased toughness even once their bodyguard has died because the attacking unit hasn't yet finished making its attacks. Of course, once that Dreadnought finished making its attacks and it moves on to the next unit, at that point, the Neuro Tyrant then becomes its own unit. It reverts back to its toughness 8 and they were winning its toughness 8. But that specific instance that we had last night is actually a bit of a problem, okay? Now here's the other big one that I still am not sure of, but this one leads into the title of the stream. How and why I think I've been doing this wrong. And that is attached characters, attached units, and keywords. And I'll explain why I now think I've been doing it wrong, okay? Certain rules interactions say they target a character unit, and certain rules interactions say they target a character model, okay? So, for example, precision specifies character model, right? But other things, anti-character rules, like anti-character 2+, specify unit. And so I actually do genuinely believe that the keywords for data sheets are shared when a specific unit, like a Terminator Librarian, joins a bodyguard unit like Terminators and then has the psychic keyword. So actually, I think we've duped Joe a little bit with his Tyranids. Spoiler alert. Not that it's hampered him because he has won both, but you can go back and watch them. They seem to be doing very well on YouTube. However, there's a psycho keyword. What we should have been doing when he attacks that unit with his psychophage is allowing him to wound with the anti-psycho ability because it's a psychic unit. Okay? It's not a psycho model, it's unit. And I feel like that word's differentiation that seems to exist within the rule set would indicate to me that they are intending, when a unit is joined by a leader, to share certain keywords. Again, precision specifically says character model, right, rather than unit. This offers some interesting potential issues, though. Escapade's already jumped in there and say, yay, Neurogonts are monsters now. Well, and that's an interesting, okay, because if you think about Joe, for example, and his adaptive biology states that if he chooses to go down the sustained hits route, that's against infantry and swarm. So if Joe was using said monster-based Neurogaunts, if that keyword is shared escapade, and he's up against Tyranids and they're using sustained hits 1, do they or don't they get it? Because the Neurogaunts are sharing the infantry keyword with the Neurotyrant, but the Neurotyrant is sharing the monster keyword with the Neurogaunts, and that's messy. Now, what I did originally assume when we looked at the data sheets really, really early on, and they showed us what certain Space Marine units could join certain Space Marines, if we look at for example, if we look at the Apothecary Biologist, the Apothecary Biologist is a model in Gravis armor, can only join Gravis-based models. So he can join the fisty aggressors, and he can join, Jesus Christ, that was harder than it should have been. He can join aggressors and eradicators and things like that, right? So and he can join heavy intercessors. And I assume that's because they share keywords. Gravis, infantry, same toughness, okay? That kind of made sense to me. If we look at the Terminator Captain, the Terminator Librarian, well, they also share certain keywords, infantry, and they have similar toughness, 2-up save, 4-up and vulnerable save. And I kind of figured, I get why they're doing this then. There's no janky interactions when you're wounding against certain units. Apparently that seems to not be necessarily the case, Neurotyrant being case in point. So I don't know whether, in that instance, the unit has both the infantry keyword and the monster keyword, and therefore the sustained hits 1 does work.
I was super chatting Adrian, Titans, and he told me to say hi to you. I have been watching lots of different streamers all using the same box set. Good to see how the same list is played differently.
Stu, thanks so much, man. And thanks, Adrian. What legend. Thank you for the 10. You're an absolute hero. Meanwhile, Richard, thank you for the 5. You're a legend. But you didn't put a comment. You just super chatted 5, and it's your first ever one. So we'll assume that you didn't realise you had to type in the box first. Just stick it in chat, man. Let me know what you want to say. I'll get to you. I'm sure someone will copy and paste it for me. Also, right, 30 minutes in, over 200 likes. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. 9 new members, though. I need to add the 5 gifted from Sandy. Just 9 new members. I see what you've done here, people. You've made sure that it is, in fact, 269. You childish bastards. You childish bastards. So, yeah, so it is interesting that it seems like there is an odd interaction. I also feel like with anti-psyker and anti-character and anti-this and anti-that, if they don't share the keywords, and if they don't share the keyword, for example, psyker with the bodyguard unit, you kind of really hurt all these anti-units. So at the same time, by gaining the librarian in the unit, you're gaining your sustained hits ability from the psychic power that he has. That's not a psychic power anymore, but it is a psychic power. You're getting the psychic hood. I'm going to go more on that in just a moment. However, so you're gaining benefits, so that it feels like logically there should be a negative, and that negative would be the anti-psyker, okay? So that's, I don't know. I think we've been playing that one wrong, and I think that what we should switch to in the future is sharing those particular keywords, and where it specifies it targets the psyker unit, then the unit is victim of whatever that rule is. But where it says it specifies it targets a psyker model, then it's on a model per model basis, unit per unit basis, rather than a generic keyword applied to the whole unit. Does that kind of make sense, chat? Also, talking about Psychic Hood, here's another jank interaction that I found. We talked about this a little bit last night as well. The Librarian Psychic Hood specifies when a Librarian is leading a unit, okay? Which for me, I automatically assumed that meant that when he had joined a bodyguard unit and it became an attached unit and he was therefore leading a whole unit, he gains the Psychic Hood.
Whilst bodyguard and character toughness could be seen as janky, I think this could be a good trade-off for attaching models to units to receive the benefits/power. You'd expect most Jarkator to join units with same toughness.
Yeah, I think I probably agree with you, James, to be fair. Thank you for the 20 man, by the way. You're an absolute hero. But I think I probably agree with you on the whole, right? But yeah, absolutely. So the other thing I found with Psychic Hood, so Librarian Psychic Hood specifically states when he's leading a unit, right? But if you kill the bodyguard unit, he's on his own then. Strictly, he's not leading a unit as such. Apart from he is, because he's leading his own unit of 1. So we originally read it last night. I was like, well, that's silly. That means he doesn't get his Psychic Hood after after his bodyguard's been killed. I actually think he does, but these are little clarifications which I struggle to believe they just flat missed. Again, if it had been playtested, it just wouldn't have been missed. And this is the thing, right? This is part of the thing that irritates me slightly. They had a whole army of playtesters. There's some other janky things that exist that you people will find out over time. I'm just like, if you have sustained hits 1 and you give the unit another set of sustained hits 1, does that become sustained hits 2? Do you pick one of the rules to be applied? Do you get both rules and it becomes sustained hits 2? Doesn't make sense to me personally. I'm not sure which way around that should be. If your weapon has it inherently and you get it for an army ability, do you get an extra hit roll on a critical hit? Do you? We don't know. So I actually do think, someone said really early on, Steve said, day 1 patching coming. I 100% think they need it. I think that's a shame, because part of the reason for the reset is because of some of the nonsense that occurred in 9th, right? And now that nonsense has supposedly been removed because of 10th. Designer notes have been announced. Your questions will be answered at launch. So here's the other thing, Green Blood Crusade. Thank you for that comment, by the way. But here's the other thing. Designer notes have been announced. Your questions will be answered at launch. Why haven't we, as the people that are showcasing this game to you people, why did Games Workshop push out products to previewers? Okay? Really obvious answer.
If reasonable minds can differ, it's a bad rule. Excited to play 10th, but not to inevitably learn it wrong at first. The FAQ needs to come out very soon. Keep up the good work clearing up rules, Liam.
Thank you so much, Brennan. You're a hero. Thank you for the 10. Someone said earlier, Stu said that Adrian had told him to message. Well, me and the Titans guys have been talking about some of the rules interactions. And here's the problem. Even between us, we haven't necessarily been able to agree. And we have to sit there and go through kind of logical process to get to a point where we think, well, this probably is the safest or makes the most sense. If for a brand new release, which is just indexed, you're saying this makes the most sense or this is the safest, I would argue it's not the best written. Okay, so I need to clarify. I still love the game. I haven't got a problem with the game. I think 10th is incredible. I'm so excited for the future of 10th. But I think that this we talked recently and I said that I felt like this had been rushed out a little bit. And I think this adds to the fact that this may have been rushed out a little bit because I think there's some gaps here. I feel, okay, here's the thing, chat. Here's what you need to do with 10th edition 40k when you get your hands on it, right? You treat it like a modern day AAA video game. So when it comes out, it's essentially in public beta phase. Okay? It's in public beta. You lot go out there, play, find your janky rules interactions, make sure you email them into GW so that they can be answered as quickly as possible. But going back to the creator thing, why do GW push content out to creators, right? Why do they do it? It's obvious. They want us to hype their edition, they want us to hype their game, they want us to hype their product, and therefore people might be more inclined to go and purchase it, to buy into it, to be excited by it, right? They don't actually specifically tell us we have to be positive. They don't specifically tell us anything like what we must include in our content. They just say, here's a product for you to review. We do need to state that it's an ad-based product, but that's just ASA guidelines. That's not GW specifically. That's just something. But they do not expect us necessarily to be positive or negative. But when you push the product out to review and you get honest reviews from people, you obviously really want them to be positive, so they sell the product. So if they know there's a day one FAQ coming, or designer's notes, or errata, whatever they want to call it, why weren't we given it from the start? So we can make sure we're playing this game right. I now have minor concern that I have 2 battle reports live on YouTube where we have played some of the rules slightly wrong. Now, I know a lot of people have already said in the comments right at the start of the stream before I even went live, hey, it's a new edition, people aren't going to get all the rules right. Fair. If that's simply because we've misremembered a rule or we've we've kind of merged 9th and 10th, and we've remembered a bit of 9th and done it slightly wrong, then fine. I accept that, and I think those mistakes will definitely happen. There's a couple of things we missed. For example, Brom in turn 4 last night shot his Dreadnought into the Tyranid unit that was in combat the monster and forgot the -1 to hit for shooting into combat. It's a brand new thing, didn't exist before. We forgot it. Okay, cool. He hit a couple of times where he probably shouldn't have hit. Those mistakes I can accept. New edition, new game, I can accept those mistakes. But issues with the game where I feel like we've got the rules wrong, simply because we've sat there for ages, read through it and gone, what do we think live? Because we did this live on purpose with you people. What do we think live is the safest way of playing this? Made a decision, what I felt was an informed decision at the time, and now I'm looking back on it and going, with some time behind me, maybe we haven't got this right. I have a very good friend of mine who is in the legal profession and pretty substantially senior in the legal profession, who says when they're reading new law, he told me today, when they're reading new law, they read said law, they let it rest for a couple of days, they go back and read it again, and inevitably, normally it reads differently because of how the human brain works. Well, that's kind of what I've done today. Sat with the rulebook today, had a read through it and gone, I'm not entirely sure we've been playing this right. It helped also last night that I was sat looking at you guys in chat, and I was reading through what you guys were saying, and I could see quite clearly there was a divide in chat about whether units do or don't confer keywords to each other. And this is the problem. This goes back to what Brennan said with his super chat. I completely agree with you. If reasonable minds can differ, it's well, I don't know about being a bad rule, a poorly written rule, I think is the most important thing there. And in this particular instance, in terms of keywords and how they work in combined units, it's not even a poorly written rule. There is no precedent, there is no rule, there is nothing laid down anywhere. The only precedent we can refer to is 9th edition, where it did state that when units had different models with different keywords, they were considered to confer them to each other. And that specification, that wording wasn't in 10th, so that's why I kind of assumed, well, clearly they're not meant to confer to each other. Someone in the YouTube comments from last night said the same thing, which is quite interesting. So, in summary, my first 20-minute kind of 10th edition rant, back to original streaming now that some of the new announcement stuff has kind of slowed down a little bit. I love the game. I love the edition. I think I'm going to enjoy playing this so much more than I've ever enjoyed playing 9th edition. However, it is going to need FAQing and it is going to need erratering. And this leads me to another little mini kind of rant kind of problem. I'm not going to go all angry and swear like hell, etc., like I did last Thursday. However, this is Votan all over again. Hey, here's a £150 box set that you guys can buy that includes a giant, thick, massive rulebook with all the rules in it, and it's not right. You are going to need another downloaded document to make sure you play this correctly. They're essentially invalidating a product at the point in which it's released. It's video game day one DLC, but they're selling you a physical product. And I have a problem with that. And I feel like if this was released 2 or 3 months down the line and they'd have included some other people in the testing and playing process so we can go, how does this work then? How does this interaction work then? How does this? And they can go, oh, hang on, there's some problems here. We might need to change that rule book so that we solve these issues straight away. That's my opinion. I am super keen to hear what you guys think though. So please, please, please stick your stuff in the comments below. If you want to definitely make sure I get to your comment, big colourful postcard. Amy reads it out. You've seen how that works already, you beautiful people. We're on 9 new members already. My target for every stream is 100 new members. So can we do another 91 tonight? If you can, I'll love you guys until the next stream, which is tomorrow with Joe. I'm just saying. Right, I'm just saying. And also, you guys can get super excited because although we are learning the edition live with you people, we have got potentially planned next week 4 games of 40k. On the Thursday game of 40k, I'm not even going to be here because I'm flying out to California, and so I'm leaving the lads. So that's the only one that's in the balance. So I'm happy that they can do it as long as I've got it all set up and ready to go. But if they decide actually we're panicking, we're not comfortable, I'll let them drop the stream, right? But I'm planning 4 games next week, people. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's 4, right? 4 games of 40k for you people next week, okay? Right. Talk to me, chat. Thank you so much, James, for the 2. Good thing they sacked off playtesters. I know, mate. I know. It's not even about playtesting at this point and suggesting rules. It's about finding the gaps and sending it to them and going, there's a gap here. Can you fix it? There's a gap here. They can fix it. There's a gap here. Can you fix it?
So are we to conclude that 9th edition is the superior rule set? I am confused, Custodes.
You're a confused Custodes, Kai. Thank you for the 10. No, I don't think 9th is superior. I actually think that 10th is going to be more fun. I prefer the mission layout. I prefer the whole way it plays at the moment. A lot of the problems that we're finding is because on occasion we're kind of playing at like 9th, where we're not playing at like 10th, and that's causing us some issues. I massively prefer 10th. I cannot stress this enough, chat. When you guys might think I'm being a bit negative, I massively prefer 10th edition. I just feel like the rules as written currently leave gaps, right? And we potentially could be in a place where certain people in our community, okay, exploit said gaps. And that's a problem for me, okay? Hey. There we go, right? So, excuse me, anyway, Jesus. So what do we think, chat? What do you guys... You guys have been watching the streams. I'm hoping you guys have been watching the stream. 584 people in chat, 484 people in chat right now. Right, 284 likes, which is incredible. 200 of you haven't liked so far. But what do you guys think so far about the edition? Right, I'm conscious I've just done a lot of talking for 25 minutes. However, I want to know what you guys think about 10th edition so far. You've watched battle reports. You've hopefully watched our streams so far. If you haven't watched ours, perhaps you've watched streams on other channels. Titans, for example, streamed it on Saturday evening. So you tell me what you guys think. Right. In the meantime, CT, you fucking hero. Thank you so much for 10 gifted. Jesus, the gifted bot's working again, chat. It's working. It's giving them out all over again. Dr. Deanbag, thank you for becoming a Jarl. Nanaka Katano, thank you for gifting 5 of the finest memberships. Whew, I didn't expect that. I'll let them come through, and then I'll add them to 285. There we go. 285. Maths is a thing I can do. Thank you so much, people. You're amazing. Love you dearly. Like I said, incredible way to support the channel, gifting memberships and super chats. And if you want to feel good about super chatting, 10% of our super chat revenue every single month is donated to charity. This year, we're supporting the charity Models for Heroes, !M4H in chat. If you want to know what Models for Heroes is like, all about and what they do, I'll give you a link to their website. Click on their website. You can donate directly to them monetarily if you want to. You can also donate piles of plastic shame if you also want to do that as well. And they use model kits essentially as therapy for people, helps them kind of talk, etc. So, you know, check out Models for Heroes. Incredible people, right? Incredible people doing a good job. Really liking the look of the streams. The whole game system looks good. I agree. Seems to look like several gaps are appearing from what I've seen between your streams and some others. Yeah, it's just gaps, right? You don't need to say certain people. You can just say Tau players. It's a bit amazing. Genuinely excited. That made me laugh a bit, but I like that. I got bored of 9th because it was too much effort trying to track rules and stuff. Which is part of my problem, Shadow Wolf, with the gaps that have appeared that probably didn't need to be there, right? Is now you're going to have your rulebook and the FAQ sheet, and that's a problem. Hopefully what they will do is just update the rules PDF and allow you to fresh download it, which seems good, right? Still enjoying 10th. Not surprised you know we have cocked up already, says Escapade. Michael says, Fly seems really janky and messy. Why is that, mate? Explain. Based on the limited date sheets we've seen, it seems less killy and far more fun. Strat seems more impactful. Agree with all of that, Rick, to be honest with you. Actually, yeah, this makes me want Leviathan less. I only really wanted the rulebook, Termes and Dread. If you just want the rulebook, I wouldn't buy it. I'd use the PDF in the hope that they download it. I'm hoping that their PDF rules, etc., for this edition become kind of a living rule set that they can update and allow you to download fresh, update, download fresh, update, download fresh. I really hope if they do that, I know it will annoy the people that buy the rule books. I get it and I agree. However, if they do that, if they do update those rule books every time they drop any kind of clarification or FAQ or errata, that's actually kind of positive, right? Carl, Liam, help me feed the kids. Also, help me look at my Lego. Yeah, but Lego before kids, though, right? Am I right? That was my de-stress, Carl, because I was getting stressful, right? And you guys now know why I was getting stressful, because the launch of 10th was coming, and there was a lot to do. Very hyped for 10th. Looks a lot more fun, but I can see there's a few janky rules that need clarification and FAQ'd ASCP, but I'm still excited to play Tau for 10th, and my Necrons from 9th.
Realized my super chats have all been critiques of something, so here's a just positive one. Love the channel, love you Liam, and Joe as a national treasure. Less than 3.
Less than 3 national treasures. Brennan, thank you so much for the 10. They're not being critical, it's fine. Like, as long as... I used to manage tons of people, okay? Before I did this nonsense for a living, I used to manage people. And we used to get... visits from directors or visits from like senior officers, etc. when I was in the army and stuff like that. And I would always say to people all the time, if you want to be critical of something, if you want to complain about something, if you want to say it's not good, I have no problem with that. I'm not the sort of boss that's going to tell you, shut up and tell the people in the senior positions that everything's great. I'm never going to tell you that. But if you're going to be critical, but you can back it up with reasons, opinions, fact, and you can also offer an alternative to what we're currently doing or how we're currently doing it, I'd rather you did speak up. I'd absolutely rather you did speak up. So don't worry about being critical and critiquing things, Brennan, because you're also backing it up with points, reasons, and suggesting what they could do. I don't have a problem with that at all. I don't feel that comes across as just moaning. I'm conscious that I am, after last Thursday, I'm conscious that we're not a negative channel. We're actually overly positive on the whole, but we also aren't positive for the sake of being positive. So I like to call things when they don't do a great job. 10th is a great addition. I think 10th is going to be an incredible addition of the game. That's a good job. But having so many gaps so early is a poor job. Does that make sense? So the changes on the whole are good, but the gaps that just need clarification is a problem. So the keyword issue isn't like it's terrible rules necessarily, but we just need clarification on how it works. The bodyguard, I feel like rules is written, we've got that one nailed already, but we just need to know exactly how that works and make sure we are doing it correctly. So we kind of just need reassurance, I guess, in that circumstance. And they might even come out and say, hey, you've been doing it wrong, which is fine. Sustained hits 1 stacking. I can't decide whether it should or shouldn't. My gut tells me it shouldn't stack, but I don't know, and it doesn't tell us that. So that's something that needs clarification. Rules that affect a leader when he's leading a unit. Does that just mean when he's leading an attached unit? Does that even mean when he's on his own leading himself? We don't know. There is no clarification. And these aren't necessarily changes to rules to fix things that are broken. This is very simplistically clarifications. And that's all we need. How does this work? And once they've clarified it, it should be fine then, right? It needs clarifying once. Clarifying once, that's it. Then it should be fine. Ultimately, that's how that should work, okay? They clarify, hey, when a character's in a unit, you just basically use all the keywords, and if the rule states it attacks a psycho unit, then you use it against a unit. Character's different.
As a Votan player looking forward to everyone actually wanting to play me in 10th. Still very surprised by the most sporting award at Factorum the other week.
Tim, thank you so much for your first ever super chat. Thank you for the 10. You're an absolute legend. I appreciate you, you hero. For those of you who don't know, Tim, we run tournaments at Factorum. I'm going to show you something in a brief moment. We run tournaments at Factorum at the moment. GTs currently, I think it's every other month. RTTs in between, and narrative events. More on that in just a moment. And those events, one of my favourite awards is most sporting. Tim turned up to the Factorum GT, the last one that we did, RTT, sorry, the last one that we did as a Votan player with 3 land fortresses and 1 favourite player. 1 most sporting with 3 land fortresses. That tells you how nice a guy Tim is, right? That is some accolade. So well done, man. You're a hero. Did I see Josh in chat as well? What did you say? I think I saw my artist. Oh, cream your arm. Fuck off, Josh. Josh is my tattoo artist who's clearly just looking to see if it's healing. You bruised me. Look what you did. You bruised me, Josh. You bastard. I mean, I paid for it, but you bruised me. They don't have order of operations, division edition setting values in the core rules. They don't know, which they probably should. Watching you at 1.5 times speed, 30 minutes in the past. Mystics, you're a hero. A friend of mine worked for Jaguar as a line manager. He had the same opinion with the lads. If something new was put on this line and it didn't work, they would say, and he asked, how can we fix it together? Exactly. 100% Steve. 100% that, right? That's my take from the back reps I've seen. Looks like 10th will be great, but play testers to check all this rules as written gaps should have happened. 100%, Robert. I actually agree with you. Lieutenants shouldn't be allowed to lead units as they just get lost. True story. GW clarifications need erratas, though. I mean, that's not entirely unfair, right? James Hobbs, by the way, thank you for the poo. You're an absolute legend. We're on 24 new members, team. 24 new members. 100 a night, remember? That's my plan. That's what I want. Sometimes you guys pop off and we hit 200-300 in a night. And then what happens is I get to relax and settle for the rest of the month because I'm like, okay, as long as the rest of the month is normal and steady, we'll be able to pay all the bills next month. But if that doesn't happen early in the month, I'm like, it's going to be an interesting one. Anyway, I've not been able to watch the game so far. Has Battleshock been as big deal as people thought it would be? I think it probably has, John. I think the biggest issue we're finding so far with Battleshock actually is tracking it, okay? So one thing I would advise you people to do, Now, I'm going to get some of these made, channel branded, etc., right, in the future. So don't panic too much. They are going to come. However, one of the things I would advise you people do is figure out a way of marking battle shock, right? With some form of token, a different coloured dice. I don't know. I don't know how you do it. So last night we actually used the objective markers that come in the mission cards that exist inside the Leviathan box set, because they have little like skull heads on them, right? And what we were doing is we were placing them on a battle shock unit. Why is it a big deal? Okay. If you don't know already, battle shock units go to objective control 0. They cannot be affected by stratagems. They must take desperate escape tests when they break out of combat, right? So it's important. It's a very important part of the game. And if you get it wrong and you play a stratagem or you count an objective, it's hard though, right? It's very, very hard to do. Okay, so it's the one thing you definitely need when you play 10th, which doesn't exist in the box set, with the exception of those 6 mission objective markers, right? It you need something for Battle Shock to mark it, otherwise you're gonna forget, because we have already. Big shout out Richard for gifting 5 memberships. You're a fucking legend. Thank you so much. Zena says, last time I gifted, YouTube broke. I think we're okay right now. We've dropped like, because of how gifted memberships work, Zena, we've dropped like 500 members over the last 5 days. Okay, so when you guys go full ham on gifted memberships at the start of the month, which I'm never going to complain about, it's amazing, right? When you guys go full ham and I get a big membership spike, when I then hit the next point of the next month, which is now, it goes off a cliff, okay? At which point I'm like, oh, I somehow have lost 500 members in 5 days. Great. But it's just because it's gifted and you guys are amazing at gifting, so there is a big thank you there as well. Steve, thank you for the 5. So excited. Got my local store to reserve me a box set today. I mean, people, I honestly think people should still be excited. I genuinely think people should still be excited. 100%. Like, I don't feel like there's any reason to not be excited for 10th edition. I'm still incredibly positive about it. I'm so excited for it. I cannot wait to keep playing it. More importantly, right now, I can't wait to keep playing it with some of the other factions. Okay? I can't wait to keep playing it with my Eldar or my World Eaters, or Joe probably can't wait to get his hands on Astra Militarum. You know, there's things we can't wait to do right now that we can't do because we don't have the rules, and we're just kind of stuck in this. So the reason why we're doing a Joe and Liam show tomorrow instead of a game is because everyone's playing Space Marines versus Tyranids, and I don't really want to do another Space Marine versus Tyranids. Okay, so we're going to do a Joe and Liam show where we're going to go into the last 2 game streams, find any questions about the rule, and we're going to talk about them live, Joe and I together. And if we can't come up with an answer, I'm going to ping them to GW directly and say, are these covered by your day 1 document? And if they are, great. And if they're not, then maybe think about adding it in, because we probably need it. But anyway, Zena, thank you so much for the 10 gifted. See, I told you it's fixed. There you go. You've tested the water now. It's fixed. It's fine. Is it more of a 9.5 edition? I'm not sure, if I'm honest with you. I actually feel like there is enough of a change for this to be a 10th edition, Will, if I'm honest with you. Yeah, I think so. I think I'm comfortable enough with saying that this is enough of a change to be an actual full-blown 10th edition. I don't think it's a 9.5. I think there are certain parts of it that are very similar to 9.5, which is why people are going to make mistakes with certain rules. Excuse me as I just spray my arm. People are going to make mistakes with certain rules, right? So I think there are things that are close enough, but I still think it is different enough to be classified as 10th edition, not 9.5, okay? I didn't realize you had to tick an accept gifts option. Yes, absolutely you do. 100% you do. I bet Liam is secretly looking forward to running 18 crisis suits and being that guy. No, you won't catch me playing Tau. That's Paddy's job. You will not catch me playing Tau, James. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. As someone who wrote rules for tabletop RPG professionally, like I say, it's kind of hard to write rules that can't be misunderstood. Oh, so this is the thing. So this is the thing, right, Minibic, right? To be clear, some of the things I feel like are obvious gaps that they probably have assumed knowledge without thinking. So, for example, however it is that they rule that keywords work with a leader leading a unit, to them when they were writing the rules probably seemed very obvious. Okay. And this is where, what, in my opinion, they should have done, because to go to print and be ready, this rule set would have been finished last year sometime, okay? So if they'd have taken 2 extra months, right, and instead of going to print, when they went to print, they sent it to people like us. You know, people like Tabletop Tactics, people like Tabletop Titans, you know, people like Hellstorm, people like Vanguard. If they sent it to those people and went, hey, here's our rule set, boom, what do you guys think, right? What do you guys think of this rule set? Honestly, what do you think? We could have played it for a month, okay? So you've got 1 month to play it, right? So let's say it's ready last year in, I don't know how long their production takes. Let's say, for example, it's ready last year, this time, June, right? They give us June or July, whenever, and say you've got a month. Joe and I play the shit out of it off camera. And we find, hey, how does this work? How does it work with this weird bodyguard interaction? How does it work with the keywords? How does it work with anti-character or anti-psyker when the units are combined? How does double sustained hits work? We define those things. We're finding those 2 games we've played. 2 games we played and we found these issues. So let's say they gave us a month. We could have found those issues. We could have reported back to them. That gives them another month to tweak the master file for the rulebook and add in the clarifications. The clarification being, if you have a character join a unit, all keywords are conferred, blah. Or when you're targeting a bot, whichever the clarification might be. We could have asked all these questions. They could have just made it a little bit clearer in the rulebook. Rulebook goes to print. They delay the release by 2 months. Maybe not even that long. The other thing is, if they do already have a day 1 document, and this is one of my biggest annoyances right now, if they do already have a day 1 document, what they probably should have done is they should have probably given that day 1 document to all of their reviewers before they go live, just so when we go live, we can say, hey, in the rulebook, this was unclear to us, but GW have clarified it for us already. Because what they risk is they risk previewers bringing a product to market and misrepresenting that product. Like arguably we may have done. We may have misrepresented the product and how it works because we didn't get given the clarification. And so people might look at that. And I've seen in some channels and some places, the comment section has been a bit of a hot mess of people squabbling with each other. And it's kind of shrouded a degree of negativity around 10th edition because people are going, hey, there's loads of problems with this edition already. And, oh, you're doing that wrong and you're doing that wrong. And we could have avoided all that if they'd have just given us these rulings early and said, hey, this is the intention. Because like I said to you already, a lot of it for me personally is just clarifications. It's not changing a rule. It's just a clarification. Which way is this supposed to go? Like, how are we supposed to play this? So we arguably could have misrepresented their product, which isn't good for them, considering the whole reason why they send it to previewers is hopefully to get positive reviews and get people buying it when it hits shelves. That's just, but I agree with you. Like, it's not easy to write. I couldn't. We have back in the old days of DZ, right? Chris and I did a podcast where we tried to build a better edition of the game, and it was fucking horribly hard. It was so difficult. It was so difficult. But so I don't envy their job of making a whole rule set. I really don't. It's very difficult because you can fuck off in a whole random direction and go into something super detailed. Then later on, you just flat realize that interaction now doesn't work anymore because something else that you've done. It's very hard. It's really difficult. But I feel like, I mean, they have a list of previewers. I think some of the, if I'm honest with you, some of the problem with some of the previewing, playtesting kind of stuff is that simply there's too many leaks going on, so they don't trust people. In the meantime, Stu, thank you for the 2. Looking forward to playing my Space Wolves in 10th. I have given Joe the thumbs up to start grabbing Space Wolf bits. I'm also excited for Space Wolves. Thank you for the 2. JK, thank you for the gifted membership. You're here. Tim, thank you for the 10 gifted membership. You're also a legend. I will add them onto our tracker right now. Can we get the tracker to 400 in one night? What do you think, chat? There is almost record numbers of people watching a 40k show at 521 people. 521 people. Can we get the tracker to 400 members in a night? That would be incredible. Right, Tim, thank you for the 5. Do you think GW have been using the YouTube content creators as free playtesters before the main release happens? No, I don't. If I'm honest with you, I don't think a company like GW really genuinely wants to be releasing a day 1 FAQ or a day 1 errata. If they've already announced the fact that this document's coming, I don't feel like they would have made this in the last 4 days, if I'm honest. So I feel like that document was already something that had to be made, right? So I don't think they have been doing. I think they could have used them as playtesters and previewers. Used the previewers as playtesters, should I say? I think that's what they could have done, if I'm honest with you, but they haven't. And I think I'm not trying to shit on their edition, but like I said, it's bad if we're previewing it and getting it wrong. Carl of Hodgie says everyone gift one. I mean, mate, if all 523 people gifted one, Jesus Christ. I'd be mad. Be mad good. Luton, welcome to the stream, Luton. You're a hero. You're one of my heroes, Luton. Give me Vortex Grenades and Terminator save on 2+ on 2d6. What was that, like 3rd edition or something? The rest is footnote. No, no, Luton. I'm sure all of you people who are watching right now has probably... Our 2nd edition, that's the one. I'm sure you've all probably heard of this man before, since he makes my sub count look like I am a complete and utter amateur. But check out Luton, right? Luton09 on YouTube. Probably... I'm going to say this, Luton, but I'm also conscious that I'm actually quite a big Voldemort fan. Probably the best lore channel on YouTube. Carl, thank you for the gifted. Jill, thank you for the gifted. You people are heroes. You people are heroes. Some people listen to me and fight for the cause. You guys are amazing. But other than that, stop gifting people. Honestly, I was joking. I still want more feedback about what you guys think about. Oh, hang on, Jesus Christ. More people listen to me apparently. Don't listen to me. I say silly things. A terrible idea. Kane, thank you for the gifted. Rummo Clock, thank you for the gifted. Great name. Carl of Hodgie makes Liam cry again by being nice. Man's worth it. I struggle with generosity, which is weird running a channel that relies on generosity, Carl, right? Ben, thank you for the gifted. Look at you, people are listening to me. Tim, thank you for the gifted. Oh my God, cool German dude. Oh, this is me now saying this forever. All Master Will, that's 4 more. Okay, we might actually do it. If all 500 of you are actually going to listen, we might do it, but it's a boring stream for some people, right? Then can we shit into the box and send it? Yeah, absolutely, do it. Right, the Holy Trinity of Law, Voldemort, Luton, and 40k theories. Absolutely, 100%. Lolo, thank you for the gifted. Alex, thank you for the gifted 5. Keith, thank you for the gifted 1. Stop it, people. You'll make me blush. Don't like it. Stop it. There you go. Okay, right. Was there some super chats that I missed? Warmaster Will, thank you for the 2. Looking into Dark Mech Battlefleet Gothic Fleet. Sounds cool. I haven't played it, but I kind of want to give it a go. Jonathan, thank you for the gifted. Bonsai Kitty Gaming, Battleshock use Kill Team tokens. Cheers. Drinks tears. Okay. Well, I mean, no one actually plays Kill Team, right? So you might as well do. Epic Doomay, thank you so much for the 2. Attached units are treated as the same data sheet. Yeah, but are they? So I now think they are, but are they? Oh my God, what's going on? Right, stop it, people. That's enough. Pack it in, okay? Thank you, Lone Monkey Productions. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Polychrome. Thank you, Durgan Bloodbird for the 5. Thank you, Amsterdam for the 1. Thank you, Stu for the 1. Pack it in. Pack it in. Is it still going forward as well? Yes. Luton, we're actually making good progress on the store right now. Hang on, let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10. Okay, 11, 12. Iniquity, thank you for the 1. Yes. It is 100% going ahead, Luton. We're making some good progress. We now have a project manager in place who is, quite frankly, fucking awesome, and he's doing loads of stuff that I don't even know how to do. So, but he's definitely more of an expert in this area, in this field. So I can't thank him enough for being amazing. But we are making good progress. I would really love the store to be open by the end of the year. I'm hoping actually like Q3, start Q4. That would be great. So that got us on 12. Archer, thank you for the 5 gifted. George, thank you for the 5 gifted. That's 22. Can we stop now, please? Because it makes me uncomfortable when it gets this mad, right? Just stop now. It's done. Okay. Thank you so much, but it's done. Okay. The casual war gamer, I want them to hurry up and release the free data sheets and points so we can really see how much our armies have changed. Then we'll have a better idea how tanks will play. 100%. This like weird kind of release where we've got just the box set and nothing else and no points is kind of strange for us as creators as well, because it's really hard to be like, hey, this game's really good, because I don't actually have any idea as to whether the Space Marines and Tyranids box set is balanced or not. Like I feel like it isn't. So we've done some work on the channel where we've added more Tyranid models to bring up to where we think it's more balanced. Okay, so I don't think it is, but hey. Jack, thank you for the 1. Ranulf, thank you for the 1. You guys are amazing. Scott, thank you. Stop it. Fucking pack it in. Will, welcome to Scald tier. You're a legend, becoming a member all by yourself. Thank you so much. Hey, Kirioth's here. Legend. I'm so late again, but your 10th edition battle reports have been quality so far. You're a hero, man. Thank you so much. I love you. I don't know if they've been quality. We tried something new.
Had some cash before the Russians nick all my money since my company's pay service got hacked.
Oh, wow. Okay, brilliant. Thank you so much, Richard. You might want to keep on to it, though. It's got hacked. 1, 2, 3, 4 more. That's enough now, chat, okay? Although you have almost done it already, which is fucking mental. Enough. Stop. Pause. So I don't know if I would call our battle report so far, Kirioth, quality, but I did something on purpose with the team, and it was a gamble. It was a huge gamble what we did with our 10th edition battle reports. If you guys haven't watched them yet, we've got one on Saturday, which is me and Joe playing Big Bad Chris on the deck, and we've got one from last night, which is Brom and Joe playing, and me on the deck. And this is part of the reason why I have this stream titled the way that it's titled. Part of the reason why I have the show that Joe and I have tomorrow, because I tried something, and this is going to sound okay. Some of you people out there are like, yeah, right, you're just being lazy. All right. Here's what I did though. I said to them, look, here's the rules, okay? Here's the rule book. Skim it. Become slightly au fait with it. Don't necessarily learn it, okay? Skim it. I had lots of ideas to make a learn to play series, or to teach people like in depth, or to do something high production quality, and I was like, okay, that's cool, but I feel like other people are going to do that, and some other people are probably going to do that better than us, okay? Vanguard Tactics did a learn to play video, a lot more higher production value. That's their thing, right? Their whole shtick is around teaching people the game. So I was like, you know what? I want to do something different. I wanted to do something different to what everybody else is going to be doing. I didn't want it to be polished. In fact, if I'm going to be honest, I wanted it to be as unpolished as possible, which normally would mean lower quality, and that's not normally my MO. I hate lower quality content. I like polished production value, he says, sat here in a fucking vest top because I've got fresh tattoos. I wouldn't it's not a norm, but you know, I prefer quality. I say that whilst also having a high production quality microphone and 4K and all that kind of stuff, right? However, I don't normally like to come away from high production quality. I like to be one of the better quality produced battle reports. In fact, I'm incredibly proud of the quality that we do put out, considering that we are in fact in a one-car garage here in the UK. However, I wanted to take a gamble, and my gamble was really, 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 really simple. And it sounds like we were just being lazy, but it's not. And I told them, I'm going to learn the rules as best as I possibly can, so someone in the room knows the rules. I don't want you guys to learn too hard. Because I felt like if we didn't get them learning too hard, then when we got them on the tabletop, live on stream, on Saturday with Joe, on last night with Brom, they're actually learning it in front of you people. GW have preached the simplified, not simple, the better accessibility, the easier to kind of learn the edition, etc. I really wanted that to come across. Like, is that something that they have in fact achieved? Joe has played 2 games of 10th edition. We haven't played it off camera. I haven't taught it to him off camera. We haven't used either the new Tyranid models or the new Space Marine models off camera. We wanted to do it live to show you guys if it's easy or if actually we start to struggle. Now, obviously, the bonus is we found some of these little gaps that we're talking about tonight on stream, but we also were playing 10th edition 40k for the first time live on camera. And I felt like that actually did feel quite authentic. I felt like that actually kind of came across. And I felt like that went really, really well. So I don't think the quality was high necessarily, but I do felt like you got the authentic we're learning 10th edition. My only problem with it is it's a 4-hour video, the first one. I think last night was close to 4 hours as well. And I think a lot of people on demand are going, I'm not going to watch that. But I'm like, I'd urge you to watch it. Even if you do it in chunks, because we were actually having conversations with each other and conversations with chat about the rules whilst live, which I felt was a really big deal. And I was quite proud of it overall. Anyway, in the meantime, you people are arseholes. I said stop gifting. I meant stop gifting, okay? But Tough Kiwi became a Skald tier. Ozzy gifted a membership. Thank you so much. Aaron gifted a membership. Thank you so much. Liberty Fire, thank you for the 5. I forgot to mention, I got my Golden Throne box earlier this week. I took their time, but at least you got it finally. I hope you're enjoying it, man. Jeremy, thank you for the 2. I loved your idea, Liam. It felt very genuine. Yeah, I don't know. At the moment, I'm not sure it worked or not, if I'm honest. I felt like it did work. What do you guys think? Like, tell me in chat, did it work? Yes or no? And just say, yeah, it worked, it was great, or fucking hell, 4 hours, it was terrible, right? Just let me know. I can take it either way, right? Hang on. Crucified, Justified. I got that. Thank you for becoming a Hasir tier. You're a legend. That's our bottom tier. Gets you access to Discord. Come and join us. There's loads of other tiers, loads of other benefits. The Only Thanes continues to grow, by the way. And thank you, Catch and Ken, for gifting. Stop gifting, people. Stop it. It's enough. I'm gonna get awkward otherwise, aren't I? It's enough, people. Thank you, though. You're amazing, and I love you very dearly. Right. The learning on camera and the sharing of knowledge has been great. Keep it up. Thank you, Greg. I appreciate it. You could have given them their own rules 10 minutes before going live. No, we actually did it live, people. That's the whole point. I'd watch all day, says John. Thank you. I like how both players can interact during each other's turns, playing strategy. I really like that. I think that's a much better done in this edition. I agree with you entirely. As someone new to 40k, very much appreciate the approach in the battle reports. Thank you, Ed Max. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Bridget, hey, you've been playing all wrong. Not all wrong. Not all wrong. Just the thing we spoke about today. The thing me and you talked about today when you definitely should have been asleep. But hey, Bridget, how are you? If you guys don't know Bridget and the team at Tabletop Titans, check out Tabletop Titans on YouTube. That's where I'm going next Thursday. I'm flying out to Titans and we'll be giving you a ton of content. I'm hoping to stick to my normal schedule whilst I'm out there as well. So the same 40k After Darks, the same 40k shows, etc. So tune in.
Thanks for the gift. Present. Sub, my memory sucks, so I can't do it myself.
Thank you for reading up again, your hero. Keep gifting. He's not a real dad. Shut up, Carl. Right. It absolutely works, says Kirov. I appreciate it. Jared, worked for me, yes. When are you guys doing Age of Sigmar, says Mike Swanson? Don't know. It worked. Yes, it worked. Yeah. Okay, pretty positive. Any negative comments about it? I've really enjoyed your 10th stream so far. I actually made sure to watch all of last night, finished it this morning when normally I skip bits. Brom's turns. It worked for me, yeah. Is there anyone actually negative about it? Like, genuinely. I'm not fishing here. This is a genuine question, right? I want to know. 4 hours is long, but the banter makes it all fine. It ran a bit long for me. There was definitely lag, says Paul. Okay, perfect. Good. Didn't get to watch it all, but I loved what I saw. Planning on watching it all the way through in chunks. Cool. Today is opposite day. Shut up. Yes, it was a genuine game where we learnt with you. This is really... Okay, I'm quite happy with it then. It was a real... I said to the guys, this is a real fucking gamble because this could be a car crash. And this is shit. Why would I watch this? It's 4 hours of nonsense. Absolutely worked. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. John McCardle... I told everyone to stop gifting. John comes in and flops his fucking dick on the table and gifts 50 memberships. What a legend. Thank you so much. Jill, absolutely worked, but a quicker playthrough for on-demand might help for those with short attention spans. That's not a bad shout. We can do that. It did work. Even Adrian at Titans mentioned your learning stream and said for his viewers to watch it. Oh, wow. Okay. Look at that. Good old Adrian. Isn't he nice? Videos people who know the new edition inside out are valuable, obviously, but I can't overstate how important it is for newer or casual players seeing learning on camera it's needed.
Personally, I thought the quality was great. I took immense value from it. You can overdo production quality, it starts to give way to things being synthetic and manufactured and essentially fake.
Yeah, so I feel like there's this... Like, I agree with you, Kai, and I feel like there's a line on YouTube content, okay? Right? I'm conscious to know what you guys think, but there's a line on YouTube content that gets crossed, specifically when channels hit the big time, okay? There's a few YouTubers I follow that are in the millions of subscribers, right? And these people, when they hit the big time... it's very strange how it kind of flips. The production quality becomes incredibly high, which is amazing, obviously. But then there's these weird, like, high production adverts like placed in, and it just kind of feels a bit like, okay, this is not, some of the authenticity is lost, in my opinion. I want the camera to be clear and crisp. I want you guys to be able to see what you're doing on the table. I want the audio to be clear and crisp, so there's no horrible noises, there's no weird echoes, there's no horrible interference. I want you to feel like you're stood the opposite side of the table with us playing a game. I don't want to feel like you're watching a show that's produced for Netflix, that's heavily edited and not entirely true. Fuck me, 40k medic, another 50 gifted memberships. Pack it fucking in, you lot. It's enough. Stop. Gregory Hill, thank you for the gifted one as well. You're a legend too. Whether you give 1 or 50, you're all legends. But Jesus Christ, can you please stop? This is mildly awkward now. Heretic Dave, thank you for the 5. Like the rules, explanations, and narrating while live, talking through it and discussing how the rules work, etc. Best way to showcase a new rule set. Don't get me wrong. When we get into 40k, into 10th edition, the streams will come right down. I actually think we can get them into like 2.5, 3 hours. I believe that is in fact possible unless Brom's playing. But I believe that is in fact possible. And so I'm really positive that that's something that we can do, which is amazing. Okay. So don't panic. I think that they're not all going to be 4 hours long, right? In the future. I'd like to do some pre-recording in the future as well, but I don't like the whole handheld phone thing. I've never liked it, to be honest with you. Strive for MKBHD quality content. I would love to have that robotic arm, Estin, but he also has 10 million subs, right? He has 10 million subs. So anyway, thank you so much for you people for gifted memberships. Mandy, you can stop. Okay. Tim, thank you for the 5. Learnt loads. Keep up the great work. Your team are great at making learning fun. You're a hero. Thank you. Brennan, thank you for the 5. Seeing people who play 40k more than me getting rules wrong makes me feel better about my playing. That's relatable. Too polished can be intimidating. 100%. But I think it's important. Stop gifting people. You keep interrupting me because I have to say thank you for the gifted. Lolo, thank you for the gifted. Stop gifting. That is between 40k, Medic, and John, and the other 3. Oh my fucking god. Okay, so I said 400 and we've smashed that, okay? So, 62. So, oh, hang on. Numbers, good. Right, enough. Pack it in. Or we're going to end up halfway to the fucking gifted target 7 days into the month. So I know. Stop it! He doth protest too much. If I could just turn it off temporarily. I don't think I can. Not like that. Bridger, Han, Libby Fires, John McCardle. Which side do you think of the box favours Little Space Marine? Personally, if you're just going off box contents, I think it favours Space Marines quite a lot, right? Liam, I need gifted membership to pay the bills. Also, Liam, not like that. Yeah, I mean, like, I aim for 100 a stream, Nanaka, right? That's me done. I'm happy with that, okay? That's fine. And 100 a stream is incredibly generous, right? This is too generous. I get uncomfortable. I end up getting a bit overwhelmed. I have to have a word with myself. Pack it in. Free Radio Armageddon, thank you for the 5. Awkward is getting a gifted sub email, but no YouTube notification, even though I clicked the button. You wanted it, peer pressure works. No, I wanted some. This is too much. So it appears that side accounts cannot be gifted memberships. What's a side account, Eric? I've been half getting confused because of all the gifted. Sorry. I'm sorry. Walking Death 69, thank you for the gifted. Ask everyone to gift subs, then tells everyone to stop what they do. Yeah, but Lazy Bulldog. When you've got 500 people watching, you don't actually think for 1 minute that everybody's actually going to do it. It's kind of a meme at this point. It's a bit of a joke, right? It's not entirely true. I can't say one way or the other. I've seen both win, and it's still early on the missions in different combos, but I think both are strong. Yeah, I mean, I think that... Liam, hi from Liam. Hey, Liam. I think that the thing is with it, like, the boxes are kind of weird. Okay, the models are fucking super cool. The models are really, really, really nice. Okay, the models are super cool. They're very pretty, but there are odd choices to go in the box, and I'll explain. The Apothecary Biologist can't join anything in the box. The Winged Tyrannid Prime can't join anything in the box. It's really hard to actually gauge the strength of what's in the box. Would I take a Neuro Tyrant with Neuro Gaunts? Actually, no, I probably wouldn't. Right? I probably wouldn't do that. I probably would put them with Tyrant Guard rather than the Neuro Gaunts. Okay. Would I take the Winged Tyrannid Prime? haven't got the index in my hand. Probably not. Okay. The Apothecary Biologist is a useless model in this particular box set because he can't join anything. So, you know, there's that as well. It's a hard one to really say which one is stronger. I think point for point, and I'm quoting this because we don't know points, but point for point, I feel like that the Space Marine half is stronger, if I'm honest with you. Genuinely. Who knows? Mandy, thank you for the gifted. Ferret's Revenge. Might have made some jokes last night about Time of Bomb's turns, but really appreciative of the content and the time spent to make it. Love you all. Yeah, I think I might start being conscious that I don't want to give him Brom a complex. He's a good sport, and he wants to learn. He loves the game, and he enjoys playing. So we always love Brom. Mandy, he just did one where they gave the Tyranid side the Swarm Lord, and it was still a Marine win. That's interesting, since the NDA tells us we're only allowed to use the contents of Leviathan. I think people might have cheated a bit there. Liberty, thank you for the 1. What a hero. Legend. That's and Des, thank you for the 1. How did Necrons look in 10th edition? Was going to start with them as my first proper army. I mean, as a first proper army, something like Necrons is a great choice anyway, because the model range is slightly more complicated to build, but the paint scheme's super easy. You can get painted models on the table really, really quickly with Necrons. Okay, so in that regards, yeah, great. In terms of rules, like, genuinely, yeah, great. Like, go for it. There's also, the thing is with Necrons as well, there's also tons of them available on things like eBay because of the Imperium magazine and all that kind of stuff. So really, really, really good starter army. In terms of their rules, we've only seen their preview so far. They looked okay. You might want to wait off until they give you the full rules. Now, if you assume... So the pre-order has been announced as this Saturday. Okay, the box goes live 2 weeks afterwards. So some point in the next 2.5 weeks, you're going to know the whole Necron rules. Then you can make a better informed decision. Once those rules are out, give me a shout. We'll talk through them. I'll let you know. Okay, Dats and Des, thank you for the gifted. Liberty Fire, thank you for the gifted. You're just annoying me now. Ignoring me now, aren't you? Not annoying. You're not annoying me, people. I'm lying. You're just ignoring me. I'm gonna stop protesting, and then you'll just stop fucking gifting. That's how that works. Because I know you lot do everything you possibly can just to fucking troll me right now, right? To make it match in points, we added another unit of Termagants and another unit of Barbgods to Tyrannicide, what they said on Warcom about their battle report. I'm glad they told us that shit before we started doing content, Ed. Jesus Christ. It just showed all the new models in one box, which is pretty much what they always do. Sometimes it works, sometimes not so much. I mean, I don't think our games have been relatively balanced on the whole, right? So I actually don't think it's that far off. Like, I feel like on the whole, our games have been pretty close. You know, the Marines have been hamstrung by me and Brom, who aren't normally Marine players, but Joe really wanted to play Tyrannus.
Indomitus had that same issue. Necron side was way weaker. Plasmancer was trash. The Canoptech Reanimator too. I
mean, the Canoptech Reanimator was trash forever, Mandy, unfortunately. I'm hoping it's so much better in the new edition, because it's a fucking cool model. I want to see 3 Reanimators.
Yeah, the Warcom article today said they added 2 squads to Tyranids for a WH plus Batrip to even up the points.
So considering we added more Terminators last night, I'm actually more comfortable with adding the 3 Leapers, the Carnifex, and the Psychophage to the Tyranids. I feel like we actually did an okay job of balancing it then. Okay. 100% if you want about it, we'll do it more. Thank you, Liberty 5 for the gifted. Thank you, Mandy, for the gifted. Fucking hell. I need to have a button that I just press. Do that. I need to add another. I don't know. I've run another 2. I need to add another 2 to this now. This is a childish night. But I appreciate you all. Will you be doing the narrative campaign? Which narrative campaign, Paul? Oh, talk about narrative. Okay, right. So, people. We talked about Factorum narrative and competitive, right? I'm aware that a bunch of you are also northern people in the UK who have yet to get to the Factorum narrative event. We talked about it previously. I'm also aware that a bunch of you have wanted to get involved in the Factorum narrative, but you're abroad, you're in America, etc. Well, good for you. We're working on both of these things. Liberty 5, thank you for the gifted. We're working on both of these things, okay? So first of all, we are bringing the Factorum narrative.
As channels get bigger, they lose their soul. Like the Star Wars prequels, you lose the organic humor and rely on the effects. I don't care about close-ups of models or smoke. I want bants and legit jokes.
I intend, Kai, my intent is to actually never lose exactly what we've just spoken about, okay? I think if we start to lose that soul, if we start to lose that kind of raw, what is us, what makes us us, then I think I'm probably going to ask some of you to really put us back on track, right? I don't shy away from criticism. I don't shy away from criticizing. I don't shy away from criticism. So if we were to start to come away from the kind of meat and the bones of the channel, I'd expect people like yourself who have been long-term supporters and who are incredible supporters to be like, hey, you bunch of cunts, you need to, like, this is becoming too, and we'll pull it back, okay? Because I want the professional vibe whereby, again, it's produced in 4K. The audio's good. There is going to be, I'm looking at adding more graphics and adding more production value to it. But the important part, the most important part, is the people, the personalities, the banter, etc. Okay, Liberty, thank you for another gifted. But you gifted one of yours to Bromley, did you see? Oh dear. Thank you for another gifted, Liberty 5. I think you're doing it on purpose now. Cyanide, thank you for the 2. Red dice when, I need goodies. We have 3 sets of dice on pre-order at the moment with the incredible guy, what's his name? Baron of Dice. Black, white again, and matte red. They're all coming. I don't know how soon, but they're all coming. Keep your eyes out. They'll be going in the web store soon, okay? So yeah, Factorum, what's one narrative event, right? If you guys want to get involved in the narrative stuff in the future, first of all, we're taking the narrative on tour to Element Games in Stockport in August, okay? So it's a bigger event. I will do another stream about this in more detail in the next probably 3 weeks, but we are selling tickets already to the narrative event in Factorum. If you go onto the Element Games website and search for Factorum Narrative, you'll find the tickets for the weekend. It's going to be a ton of fun. So make sure you come and hang out with us there. I'd love to sell that event out for them because they put in so much work to their narrative event. And if you also want to be Eron, what shade of red? Fuck off. If you also want to be involved in the narrative campaign, but you can't because of the new ES, well, what we've just done with the Factorum guys, this doesn't benefit me, right? Just to be clear, we've also done with the Factorum guys is we have launched them a Patreon page, which is directly linked to Discord roles, and you can be involved with your favourite faction of choice narratively via their Patreon page and the Discord roles. The exact rules as to how this works currently haven't been finalised, but we're working on you being able to play games with your friends in America or Germany or Australia or New Zealand or whatever you want to do, submit your results via the Discord and impact the narrative in that particular system. Ton of work's going into this. Most of it's theirs. I'm just promoting it for them. They have a Patreon page. If you do become a patron of Factorum, you can get a friend of Factorum level or a full member, and they give you extra perks and benefits. Some of it's digital based, so some of it you can benefit from. Some of it's physical based, so you need to go into store, right? So just be aware. Make sure you read all the benefits for every level, because Cad's put tons of stuff in because he really wants as many patrons as possible. And I've helped him build this, so I want it to work for him as well. Right, there you go. Can't see shades of red. He's not cool enough. No, because we've got red, red, and red, right? Lara, thank you for the gifted. I need to add like 3 more now to this. I think it's 3 more. I'm sure I've counted 3 more. Liberty Fires, and Laura. Yeah, 3 more. Okay. Okay, cool. Beautiful. Right. I thought Brom's was just some strange UK name. No, Brom's his surname. It's what we call him. Just what we call him. Don't forget to like the stream, yeah, people. I mean, we've got 438 likes already, and we've not even. This is fucking madness, people. Madness. I'm a fair way behind, but why isn't GW reviewing the content creators' content and feeding back to them where they've gotten the rule? I mean, that would be nice, Craig. Yeah, you're going to catch us up late, but that'd be nice. Already got a ticket and accommodation booked. Says Ed, good man. I'll see you there. I am going to the Element one. I'm not going to be there this weekend. I'm too busy before I go away to America. But you you should go to the narrative if you can, because they're incredible, right? Davey was tempted after your glowing review, but no. Oh, that's a shame. He should. Asuggy doesn't care. Don't know if you saw it, but the ribbing of Brom is supposed to be fun banter. I hope he doesn't take it to heart. I don't think he does take it to heart. I don't think he does. I think he's fine with it, right? Game store with benefits is a new concept. that sounds mildly. Sounds like it shouldn't be something that's allowed, right? You were right, Mandy. I stopped complaining about it, and they just stopped. That's good. Is a Joe reach around one of the physical perks? Not for their patron. No, that's for like Thanes and above. Where's the event tickets? Let me get them up for you. Whee. Right, let's go into Facebook. You might suddenly start hearing loads of Facebook notifications. Ignore them. Let's go into this one. Is this a ticket? Yeah, here's the August narrative ticket. That's the one. Copy. Close face fuck. Let's paste. And then hit enter. Boop. And then pin it. Pin it. Pin message. Pinned. There we go. Done. There you go. That is tickets for the Factorum narrative event at Element Games in August, and it's going to be great fun. Found it. Fuck you, Carl. Just put it in there for you. Of course, you get a lot of likes with a title like that. We like it when you are wrong. I mean, I've learned that, Polychrome. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I'd love to go to a friend's store with benefits.
Still waiting on that Great Hall calendar. Need all the boys topless in kilts. Just make sure Brom doesn't have a white background on his pic. Otherwise, we will only see the kilt.
Do you know what? You don't want me, Brom, or Joe topless for that matter, Mandy. Just Eddie, Paddy and Chris. That's the only ones you want. But I'd love to go to July and August, but work is shafting me those weekends. Sick. Tim, I'm joking. Obviously, don't do that. Ed was tempted to stop at Ram's Lodge. You would love it. You should stop at Ram's Lodge. Absolutely. Absolutely. And in handstand, says Dave. Jesus Christ. Is that the sippy cup? No, it doesn't work, the sippy cup. I can't suck it. Not enough comes out. This is a new water bottle, though. It looks exactly the same as the old one, so buy the same one.
I know they are royalty, but I've just binned off TT as they've become soulless. The interview with Stu Black was the final nail. I told Lawrence that they are not what they were. BS says, I guess. Sorry.
That's a shame. I love Lawrence. That's a shame. I haven't seen the interviews. Funny old thing. I wasn't invited to interview Stu Black. Strange that, right? I wasn't invited to interview Stu Black. To be fair, I don't think I would have been allowed to interview him anyway, with the kind of questions that I would have wanted. Scream arm. I don't think I'd have been, honestly, I don't think I'd have been able to interview him. Genuinely. And this isn't me being funny, but I don't want to do generic, like, Me personally, I don't find any value in people going, so tell me some of the challenges of making a new game. I don't think there's any value in that. I really don't believe there's any value in that whatsoever. Like, I don't. That's the standard GWPR bullshit. I don't believe in any value in that kind of question, right? My kind of questions are questions like, how the fuck can you release a set of rules like Votan that need FAQing before the rules are even in the public's hands, and how are you going to avoid doing that in 10th edition? That's the kind of questions that I want to ask, right? Genuinely. You know, how can you have problems in a rule set on day one? What's now the excuse for not having playtesters, considering that there are still leaks going on, and your original reason for stopping playtesters is because of the leaks? I want to ask difficult questions. I want to ask really difficult questions that they don't want to listen to. They don't want to answer. Like, what was the decision behind not updating or keeping rules updated for Leviathans and Contemptors, but yet you will be doing it for Warhounds and Warlord Titans? How's that the logical decision? That's the kind of questions I'd like to ask. And they're never going to let me ask those questions. GWPR is never going to let me ask those questions. So I didn't get asked to do one. I don't think I'll ever be asked to do one, because I know they watch the channel, and I don't think they are going to allow me to ask those questions, right? However, I'm really sad to see that message, Kai, if I'm honest with you, because I know Lawrence. I talk to him every now and again. Sometimes when we get together, we have a good old chat. I actually really love Lawrence. However, that's a shame. Beard and Bone was the best content. I can't necessarily disagree with that, to be honest with you. Well, all the questions were pre-approved. They must have been. Absolutely. They all looked fully scripted. The interviews looked like they were reading off camera. Lawrence even said in a live stream the questions had to be vetted beforehand. It's a shame, isn't it? Like, so what's the point then? But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Okay. I want to take nothing away from anybody who did the interviews, okay? Because, for example, Titans, I fucking adore them, as you guys know. I can't wait to go back out there and hang out with them again, right? I've got a lot of time for Lawrence. I think he's great. You know, I love him dearly. Play On is amazing. I love the guys that Play On. I have a great relationship with him. Mini Wargaming have been out there. I've got a great relationship with Mini Wargaming. And VT, well, you guys know I've streamed with VT loads in the past. Steve's just up the road. I've got a good relationship with all these people. So I honestly want to take nothing away from all 5 of these channels. And I do not blame them for taking the opportunity to make the content. There's my caveat. However, if your questions are pre-approved and vetted, I would also assume that the answers also need to be approved and vetted, at which point there is no authenticity to an interview, and you're just doing it because you can put in the title, "We asked Games Workshop or Stu Black about 10th edition." Argue with that. Because I don't think you can, if I'm honest with you. It's not really an interview if they get given the questions. What a sham. I mean, I don't know if they got given the questions necessarily. I think they can make their own questions, but they were vetted, right? Thanks, guys. Heard his name as he MetaWatch, but didn't really know anything about him. So Stu's head of the design studio. He gets a lot of data together for the MetaWatch articles, etc. I'm sure he's a lovely guy. I have no problems with him as a person. Some of the MetaWatch articles, he just sprouts nonsense and sells it as content. Basically, well, they don't even sell it. They put it out for free, right? Personal relationship versus professional relationship, says Jill. I love some of my colleagues on a personal level, but don't trust the standard of their work. But this is the thing as well, Jill, right? I have no issue or questions with the standard of any of their work necessarily. It's just the fact that, like, I'm sure they asked everything they were allowed to ask. I'm not blaming the channel at this point for going ahead with the interview or asking the questions that they asked. I'm simply saying that at the point in which the questions are vetted, I assume the answers are vetted. There's no way GWPR is going to let something out, an edited product out that they're not happy with, right? If they're going to vet the questions, they're going to vet the end video, at which point it's just an exercise in gaining clicks because you can use buzzwords. If you were to put an interview out there saying we were able to ask the difficult questions for Games Workshop, that's still buzzwords. If they vet the questions and vet the answers, it's still not authentic. If they really want to be transparent with the audience, let someone who's going to ask the real questions and let them ask any question and let the answers go out as the video, as the answer was given, right? I'm just saying. That's my opinion anyway. Kirill says it'd be crazy to turn down the opportunity to have that conversation on camera, but GW have no interest in actually answering difficult questions. They want community interaction without challenge. 100%. This is my problem. It's a PR stunt. This is what I'm getting, Kirill. It's just a PR exercise. It's a PR stunt. It's nothing more than that. Hey, look, we're more engaged. We're not.
Allow me to be clear, I love and admire Lawrence, but I'm also a customer and my money has value, as does my time. I feel I deserve better. My criticism is the content, not the people.
No, I totally get it, Kai. 100% I totally get it. There are plenty of people out there. Okay, Valrak, right? Here's an example. Sam Valrak, I love the guy. He's a really nice bloke. I've got a lot of time for Valrak. I don't like leak content, so I don't like the content that he does that's around leaks. Nothing against the person. Nothing against the bloke whatsoever. I wish him all the success, and I hope he continues to be successful, because I like Sam and I like Valrak. I don't really like his content personally, which is ironic considering I'm sat here doing a talking head stream, and the inspiration, and I've always said this, the inspiration for this kind of talking head stream came from him. It's his thing that he was doing. I was like, I like that. I reckon I could do that. I don't know if I could do it as well as him, but I reckon I could do it. So my inspiration to do talking head streams like this literally came from Valrak. But I don't like his leak content that he does. That's just personal. It's got nothing to do with him as a person. He's a great person. I just don't like his content personally. But if you like leaks, his content's full of banter, but it's also full of leaks. If you like leaks, check out Valrak, because he's great. Like, the guy's good. And I don't wish him any failure. 100%. So, you know, it's a shame, Kai. The reason why I say that about Lawrence is not a shame about Lawrence, because I think, you know, I love Lawrence. You said you love and admire him. It's a shame that people are feeling that way about his content, because I've seen, that's not the first time, unfortunately. Recently, I've seen that comment about his content on my streams. However, I also think Lawrence is an incredibly smart businessman, and he's an astute businessman, and he's very, I think he's very in tune with his audience in general. And if he's getting enough of these comments himself directly, I think he'll make changes, because Lawrence is great. Like, Lawrence has been doing this for a long time. He's one of the OGs in this space and one of the most successful. You know, and again, I hope he continues to be successful too, which I'm sure you do also, right? That would apply for something honest, but a paid ad is never honest. It's PR stunt, as you say. Yeah, absolutely. All influencers are paid ads too, to a point, right? People got smart. They see an ad and know that, they are getting scammed. So marketing got more cheeky. So this is the thing with previewing, right? And this is LDZ, right? I'm gonna agree and disagree at the same time. I think that on the whole, you're correct, right? So on the whole, when a company sends me a new product, looking around for something that I might be able to show off, realizing there's a ton of stuff around me that I can't show off. When the company sends you a new product, right? A lot of people that receive said new product think to themselves, I need to be positive about this because I want them to send me more product, right? And that's unfortunately a very common, you know, a very common issue. So 10th edition rulebook, everyone's like, I need to be really positive about this. I want games to keep sending me stuff, right? Of course you do. Of course you actually want people to keep sending you stuff. Don't disagree with that. But what's more important to you, genuinely, on things like YouTube? What's more important to you? The company sending you the product? This is an open question. What's more important? The company sending you the product, or the viewer the other side of the camera who's prepared to watch, subscribe, super chat, become a member, gift a membership? Who's more important to the creator? And I think a lot of creators lose sight of this. If you're good enough as a creator, if you're authentic enough, if you maintain your integrity, and if you keep being honest with your audience, the person sending this stuff doesn't actually matter. They just don't matter, flat. Because you can still get your hands on the products. You might not be able to preview it, but you can still get your hands on the products, right? So who's more important at that point? The person who's more important, the person who's the most important to us creators in general, and a lot of creators lose sight of this, is you guys. Because without you guys, it'd be like Hellstorm. I'd be talking to no one. I'd be sat here with no audience whatsoever. I'm joking. Mikey's amazing. But without you, and I think he's upset that I keep taking the piss, but Mikey is amazing. But without you guys, there's just nothing here, right? I'm just sat talking to an empty room. It's pointless. I'm not monetized. I don't get gifted memberships. I don't get super chats. Without you people, there's nothing at all. So with 10th edition, when we're picking holes in the rules at the moment, because I would rather be honest with you people. Just look at last Thursday's stream about Forge World, okay? Liam, show us a new Warp Spider kit over there on the side. That's Lego, not Warp Spiders. Chris, thank you for the heart. You're a hero. The company will build your channel. Off. What happens if GW gets the layers and copy strikes you? No offense, no hate. No, I get it, mate. 100%. I'm with you. This is what I'm saying, right? So you are kind of correct. And the ASA, the Advertising Standards Agency here in the UK, have got smart to this as well. So the ASA have released new guidelines for YouTubers. So if they send me this same product now, in the past, if they sent this product, you know, there was no real regulation about what I had to do with this at all. Now I have to say that this is supplied by them for free to me to review, and I have to put it in as paid promotion on my stream, and I have to include certain things like hashtag ad to make sure I adhere to Advertising Standard Agency guidelines. So with what you're saying, you're kind of half right there, but now streamers have to be honest when they have been sent product by a company for free. Okay, they have to be honest. I think from a streamer's perspective, you're better off just being honest anyway, because if you're more honest, I feel like more people are going to come and support you and watch you because you're just being genuine and you're being honest. There you go. Influencers, cheap advertising. Most products cost a company next to nothing. Absolutely, that 100%. Significantly cheaper than actually running ads, right? 100% cheaper than actually running. Actually running ads is expensive. If you get it right, it can be lucrative, but it's also expensive. The funny thing about marketing is that 50% of it is bugged and it's wasted. No one can figure out what 50% is the waste, and now there is nothing is cheap about it. Exactly. You're right over there. We've just got a mouthful of cereal. She's got back from the shop. Is that fresh cereal from the shop as well? Oh, okay. Fiona, I stopped reading video game reviews because just seeing someone play the game authentically is so much better. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. Constructive criticism is the key. And constructive criticism is important as well. This is what I was saying to you guys earlier at the start of the stream, right? I don't mind if I make any video, from my perspective personally, if I make a video or a stream and someone says it's shit, cool, okay, I'm not offended. However, what I'm going to say is, okay, why do you think it's shit? What could we do better? And I normally add a caveat. I'm not saying we're going to change it, because if I've made it this way, it's because I like it this way. If they go, it's shit, and you go, why is it shit? Because it's shit. Cool. You're a knob. And I'm not going to talk to you anymore, because that's not a reason. If they go, it's shit. Why is it shit? Because it was 4 hours. I found it was really boring. The pace was quite slow. I didn't like all the swearing, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. So the 4 hours thing I take because, you know, we're learning the game. The swearing thing I'm not going to change because, fuck it, we're adults and this is for children. So I'm not going to change that. And I'll go through the reasons with the person. And maybe some things we change and we tweak, and maybe some things we don't. But at least that person's given me constructive criticism. They've told me why they didn't like the content. And I can make an informed decision.
Agreed. I think my comments to Lawrence were disregarded because there is not enough people saying it. I said to him, don't listen to me if I'm the singular dissenter. He has incredible perspicacity. Absolutely,
100% Guy. But it's also, like, I also tip my hat to you for even if you are the only person, for being honest and saying how you feel. Like, I feel that's always key. I don't want anybody to ever not be honest about what they think about what we're doing, right? Because it doesn't help me. And sometimes one person can make one comment out of a sea of 500 people or 1,000 people or 10,000 people, and that one comment will make you go, huh, okay. And that could be the one thing that you need to go, I've had this little niggle in the back of my mind, and that's pushed me over the edge, actually. So even one comment can be important. Like, you drop one tiny little stone in a pond and it starts a ripple. And ripples can become waves, right? It's really important to make those comments and just to say how you feel. I don't blame you for it at all. I think you're spot on, right? What does the whip part of add whip stand for? Been bugging me around this Leviathan release. No idea, Angus. That's the hashtag we were told to use by Games Workshop. So I can't tell you. I have no idea. Honestly, the best part. Absolutely. Where are we? Will, I think you can often judge the quality of a review by how often they mention negative aspects, unlike all those niche hobby magazines that always rate everything they get review 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I can see a lot of those kits being 8 out of 10 that wouldn't be a review. I would ignore a 10 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 is more sketchy. Yeah, I agree with all of you, basically, right? MB92, whoever marketed 10th for GW is an idiot. Massive content overload and now just loads of really strange discussion. But I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you, right? It's hard for us creators right now. Hey, here's the brand new Leviathan box set. Amazing. Thank you so much, GW. You are incredible. Cool. We're not actually going to give you all of the unit rules yet. We're just going to give you what's in the box. You're not going to get to use points. Can't do that. Like, okay. And how long do we have to do this for? This amount of time. Right, cool. Like, it's just, they just haven't made it the easiest for us, right? The ripple effect is true. My whole job is to be the drop that causes the ripples. Absolutely, 100%. Or a turd in the bog, if you're Joe, says Ozzy. Yeah, that also starts the ripple. 100%, that absolutely starts the ripple. Yeah. But it's like, I don't know who is in charge of their marketing. I feel like already the whole 10th edition stuff has been strung out for far too long. So, you know, it is what it is. Anyway, people, before we go on a rant about other channels, numbers are dropping because we're at the end of the show. We talked about what we wanted to talk about. I do think we've got some things wrong, right? I do think we've got some things wrong with the rules, like we spoke about right at the start. If you missed the start of the stream, go back and watch it on demand, because I think it's important. However, I think that this discussion is probably going to continue until we finally get our hands on their document. And even then, I suspect that discussion is not going to end right there. There's still going to be other little things that we find that aren't necessarily going to be covered. Feel free to stick them on stream, especially on game stream. Stick the comments in the comment section. Like I said, the Liam and Joe show tomorrow night that we're going to be doing instead of a game, we're going to be looking at the comments from the last 2 games where people ask us rules-based questions, and I'm going to have the comments open on the screen in front of us here. So just comment on those last 2 games if you've got a query or a question or you think we did something wrong, and we're going to go through those comments live on stream and discuss them. And if we can come up with an answer, great. And if we can't come up with an answer, you know what? We're going to probably just send it to GW and be like, have you covered this in this document that you've promised us? Supposedly. I don't know when that's coming. Who knows? So, you know, if you have got a question or you've got a query, stick it on one of the last 2 game streams. In the meantime, thank you so much for everyone's generosity tonight. You guys have been fucking incredible. Don't forget that 10% of our Super Chat revenue goes to charity every single month. So thank you so much. You guys are heroes. And thank you for all the gifted memberships. I aimed for 300, I think, to start with. Yes, and just coming with 5 fucking more. Oh my God. We got from 300. We were going to get to 300. We got to 478. You people are amazing people. Thank you so much, you beautiful, beautiful humans. Let's just keep doing this every single stream and I'll be happy, right? I look forward to going back to watch the start of the stream. I hope you do, Madman. Thank you so much. Tomorrow night, 7:30 is a Joe and Liam show. I think Luce might... Are you going to be in here as well? They can't hear you, so you just nod or a shake. I mean, that's a nod and a shake. Yeah, that's literally a nod and a shake. Okay. So you might even be graced with the thruple. Okay? You might be graced with the thruple, but we're going to be going through those questions. Lucy can sit in and annoy us with other silly questions as well. So, you know, I'm still waiting to see if they reply to that email I sent them in June of last year. Brilliant. Okay. Less Posh Josh said you should get Joe a Monster sponsorship. Less Posh Josh is Joe. I don't think Monster will touch a channel like ours. Anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with us. You people are beautiful. You're amazing. I love you dearly. Like the stream if you haven't already. Drop a comment in the comment section after we finish the stream. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next one.